ALFC family, welcome. We have Ashlee Mesa here. We're going to be talking about her preaching this weekend with Pastor Adam, and we're so excited to have you guys here, so let's get started.
Yes.
So how do you feel?
Good. The nerves have still there, but obviously talking to a lot of people this week, my sister, my sister-in-law, my mom, Adam, they've kind of put me at a sort of ease. And they've said that obviously, like how Pastor Diego's been preaching over the last 3 segments, I need to change my perspective. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm doing, is changing my perspective on the situation and not being so nervous, and saying that God is in control and that Adam and I are going to do great.
Awesome. How does that preparation look like for you?
So my preparation obviously is a little bit different than Adam's, because Adam started studying on Wednesday. Wednesday. Me, it's been a little bit like 3 months, because this is not the norm for me, obviously. I've spoken about, I want to say 4 times, but never in the main sanctuary would all eyes on you. So preparation has been a little bit different. But Adam has definitely guided me on the way and kind of what we're going to be talking about and points that we should go over and the scriptures that we should go in. And then obviously God has even spoken through me on what scriptures to add and what I should say and what I should share of who I am and stories to tell, because obviously, there's a lot of illustrations within stories and you want to be relatable. So those are things where I'm like, okay, what stories in my life are relatable to someone like you or someone like my sister, someone obviously in the congregation that needs to hear something of what we're going to be talking about.
Mm-hmm. That's so awesome, because I love stories, and once I find something that sticks out in the story, I'm just like, oh, okay, and I walk away and I think about it all week. I don't know if that's how you are.
Yes, absolutely. I know that when Pastor has talked about, even when I'm going to mention it in the sermon, but when he talks about his grades and stuff like that, I've struggled in school. So those are things where I'm like, that's relatable. I understand. So he's overcome things that I know that I can overcome. And so those are nice things when you hear Pastor speaking, whether it's Adam, Nathan, or Pastor Diego, that you can just definitely take something away from their message and being relatable. That's what I think is most important for this weekend, is just being myself and being relatable. So the preparation is be relatable.
Just be true to who you are.
Absolutely,
I love you, and there's so many individuals that do. Yeah. So I think it'll be awesome to hear. You preached at the youth conference. Yes. And then True Love Waits, correct?
Yes.
How did that help you with this whole experience?
So True Love Waits I was still nervous. I feel like, and it's so crazy because people are like, oh, it's youth. I'm like, no, they're harder. Like they don't respond. They just stare at you with their beady little eyes. And you're like, oh my God, are you listening? Or are you looking at your phone? Like, so it was obviously, it's so true. But I have to keep reminding myself that regardless of what situation I'm put in, my confidence doesn't come from anyone but God. So my confidence, as long as I'm studying, listening to him, and him using me on the platform that he's given, I can only do my best at the end of the day. And if God is happy with my best, then I have to be happy with it as well. I can't be so hard on myself, even though I am. Because obviously you want to be perfect in whatever you do. You don't want to fail. So for me, it was one of those things where I'm like, you know what, this is practice. So I got to take one day at a time as practice, because these things have been spread out. Because like you said, we've done the retreat. We've done a youth conference at a different church, and we did True Love Waits. We actually did the marriage ministry as well. So it's been 4 times, and it's just preparation. I feel like God is like, okay, maybe you're ready. And I'm like, wait, what? It's been only 4 times. Can we do 10 and then I'll be ready? But yeah, so I have to take what God's giving me and knowing that it's 4.
Do you get butterflies beforehand, or is it just like...
Oh my goodness, yes. Butterflies have been all this week. Every time I think about it or sit down to study my message, it's like, oh my gosh, I think it's just more the eyes on me sort of thing. But I know that I'm going to throw it out there. I only have 20 minutes, and it's broken into 5 minutes each, 4 parts. So I'm like, okay, I'm not speaking for a full 20 minutes. Got my 5 minutes. Get up there.
You've scheduled it in your head?
Scheduled the time frame. Okay, if I say this word long enough, maybe it'll go by. I'm kidding.
It's so awesome to see, we get to see the human aspect. Of, we're just human. And even if we do make mistakes up there, it's okay. And as the audience know, we're all not perfect. So this is a really good thing to see behind the scenes of what goes on in your head.
Oh yeah, especially when someone, I would say for myself, and I may be able to speak for Sanaz, that we don't do this on a regular. So for us, it's like, this is something new. This is something where we are human. We will get nervous, and just like anyone, it's like, well, you get up there and do it, and you're like, no, I don't want to. So I've had those conversations with Adam even leading up to it, like, let's, you know what, I'm not saying, I don't want to do this anymore. And I was serious. I was telling him, like, I don't want to do it. And he was like, well, you're not saying no to me, you're saying no to God. And I said, oh, never mind, I'll do it. Checking in real quick. I was like, my conviction set in, and I was like, oh my God, that's who I don't want to say no to. Yes. So put my big pants on and get up there. So yeah. And then how we came about of doing this is, it was my, it was my idea.
What?
I don't know.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, it was me and Pastor Nathan were having conversation, and Pastor Diego, obviously, takes vacations. So we were talking, and I was like, what if we tag team? Like, you and Sanaz one weekend, me and Adam one weekend. He was like, that's a great idea. Let's do it. And then I was like, okay, let's forget about it. And he's like, you're on the calendar. And I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, no. That was a joke. That was just a joke. He's like, no, you'll do great. And I'm like, no, I'm kidding. Like, no, I don't want to do this. So I've been saying no up until the last 2 weeks.
But you don't have a choice.
I don't have a choice. It's already going to,
You're going to walk up those stairs and it's going to start right before you know it.
Absolutely.
But I love that, like, ALFC does a really good job with putting women in leadership roles and pastoral positions.
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel like it's a little bit more pressure?
I really don't, because the women at the church have just been so responsive to anyone in the leadership, like Pastor Lacrease, Sanaz, myself, other Ashlee Mesa, Tracy, the whole women's board. I think a lot of women love to just be around women, to have that dialogue, to say, you know what, I need someone to look up to that has gone through life, that may have a little bit more experience. So I think that having the pastoral staff, having more women lead, I think obviously just gives us a voice as well within ministry to say. Because I know a lot of people have gone back and forth and like, oh, well, women shouldn't preach. It says it in the word. It's like, no, at the end of the day, I can't even get into my message because I have a point that I don't want to say and spoil it because I think it's really funny. Right. I just can't tell you. You got to listen. It's just one of those things where, though, I believe that God has given us a voice as women. And he's and you've even seen that when Jesus was walking this earth, that he has interacted with so many women and he has taught women at his feet. So why would we not have a voice if he wasn't personally teaching us? You know what I mean? Yes. So if he's teaching us, why can't we teach? You know what I mean? And love and raise the young adults, because I think as we were talking prior to us getting on, social media has taken by storm, and I think that a lot of young women are seeing things that are unattainable and getting into depression and getting into anxiety and getting into almost a selfless, they're not selfless, but their self-worth is not valid, that they need to live up to an expectation that is unattainable at sometimes, because I mean, who can live a perfect life? No one. So for us,
the facade of social media. Yes. Yeah. But we have such a huge role, as moms. We know how it is. Like we play such a huge role in our children's life, as well as dads. Yes. But having that around the church, I think, is so important, because it gives women, little girls or young adult girls, women, to have something to look up to and to attain for that's healthy, I think.
I agree. I completely agree.
I don't want to go too much into your message, but can you give them a little preview what you're going to talk about?
So actually, we want you guys to tune in, because this weekend is going to be about marriage and how you can apply 4 things as a woman and as a male in your marriage. How to be a king and queen, how to be a prophet and prophetess, how to be a priest and priestess, and how to be a victor and a victress. So those are 4 things that we are going to give you guys this week with myself and Pastor Adam, and diving in through Proverbs 31. So that's all I'm giving you, but we're going to talk about those 4 things and how to apply them in your marriage, your family, and your walk of life with Christ. So you want to tune in. Don't miss it. It's going to be amazing.
I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see this. And I love that it hits all aspects, whether you're single, married, not married, etc., whatever you're going through. I love that. You were so real with me, and I really enjoyed this.
Oh, it's so fun.
I can't wait for this weekend.
I know. Me too. Just a little bit.
The butterflies will go away.
Right. Let's pray. They do.
Thank you for tuning in. Yes. Thank you for sitting in with me.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you guys in a little bit.